Nikki says, my son is having an issue accepting that this summer there will be no amusement park rides or carnivals, etc. Any suggestions how I can help him understand the closure for now? He is extremely anxious about going to the boardwalk amusement rides. He hits himself when I try to calmly say it's closed until further notice. And she goes on to say, is it possible to give more time for the webinar? So helpful. Love it if you could give us more time. I do want to make you aware of the fact that, you know, we're live with you 5 hours a week, and then we play the marathon of whatever we did throughout the week, all weekend long. And that there are almost 9 years of videos for you to go through. There is, you know, I would love to be here more, but we've done research on how much you guys can handle to the point where you go, yeah, I can't watch anymore. Tell me what it is that you're wanting more of, and let me see if I can hook you up with that. But let's talk about because a lot of the kiddos are, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that this is an older kiddo. They're having a hard time with it, but we're having a hard time with it too, aren't we? If we all just admitted that and started from there, you know, we are being told, you know, you don't get to do the things that you want to do. And I'm watching some adults having some very hard time dealing with that. And, you know, and so I think we have to start there when we're talking about our kiddos having emotions about it, Ev, but you help us because you know much more about this.
Well, I mean, this is a unique time. It's not like any of us have ever been quarantined. You know, this is the first time in our country where so many things have been closed. So this is a unique time for all of us and the adjustment periods. The one thing to go back to for all of our kids is you have to stay on a concrete system, because that's what our kiddos get. That's what our patients, our, you know, children, they are, you know, our adults too that are on the spectrum. You go back to the idea that they need structure. And I don't know if your child knows what a calendar is. The calendar often often a hard concept for time, but if you go through it every day, so if you have a calendar that shows 12 months and you're able to X out all the days that they've closed up to, and knowing, and the thing is, sometimes you have to go backwards because you might have to go to the last time they went to the amusement park. And a lot of times the calendars is what represents when something's going to happen. So if
she wants you to know, Ev, he's hyperlexic and he keeps asking her for a calendar date.
Yep. So what happens is you can take the dates from the boardwalks and Universal Studios and Disneyland, and they've X'd out to where they know. So that whiteboard with the calendar, you can have it all X'd out to where they know. And then so he can, let's say they X'd it out through the end of August, and September you don't know, you just leave it blank, because that's his hope.
I see.
Will go away. And the thing is, if they change it, you can just go in and redo it. That's why the whiteboard calendars are really great. Okay. You can go in and do it that way. And at least he'll know, okay, so July and August are off. And that is going to relieve some of his anxiety. It won't relieve all his anxiety because he still doesn't know when it's going to open, but we don't know either.
Yeah, it's rough. And, you know, I mean, this is something my family watches very closely because my husband is employed at one of the larger amusement parks here as a union actor. So we watch very closely. And here in Los Angeles, there is no definitive date of when anybody is reopening, right? But so I love the idea of, we know for sure there are dates they aren't opening, and to put the X's there, but not definitively say they're going to open on this day. But other places in the world, they are opening. They are in the process of opening. So you know, I don't know where you are, but it might be worthwhile to check on a regular basis to see what announcements have been given about boardwalks opening. But openings are imminent in places. You know, there are things opening right now in Florida. So you may not have to wait the entire summer depending on where you are. And she says it's really hard here. And I don't know, Ev, like, I know that sometimes it's just like if somebody is that fixated on something, that's all there is. But my thing that I'm wondering is there an activity that can be started that has to do with amusement parks and things, that whether it's an art project where he writes a book about on the day that he goes back and he illustrates it, or you know, I know a young man who built a small but a roller coaster in his backyard, like an adult size roller coaster. It was just 20 feet long, but it went up and it went down. You know what I'm saying?
So, yeah.
There are activities.
So the question I think for this mom, and actually for all the adults that I work with, is when I look at an adult more, I look to see what leisure activity do they have? Because this is the reason why you want to kind of build a big source of different types of leisure activity, because not everything is going to always be available all the time. And usually it's swimming pools, you know, like if you live on the East Coast and your kid loves swimming, we look to see if there's an indoor one that you can get to, but even then you can't depend on it to be available.
Yeah.
One of the things I would say for this mom is this is the time to start building other interests, other leisure activity interests. And if you're able, you need to figure out the function of why he loves those roller coasters. You know, is it the sensory aspect? Because if it's the sensory aspect, then you're going to be thinking about what other type of sensory activities would bring that same stimulation. And there's not a lot that can replicate the vestibular aspect of a roller coaster, but there are a few things. Like for some of our kids, they love like a steep escalator. You know, like at Universal, those steep escalators. I know people who love just riding them, and that's enough for it. But even then, whether it's open or not. But I would try to figure out what other activities out there that would provide that same kind of sensory, if that's what he's loving. It could be that he loves the shape of the roller coaster and he knows exactly what to expect. There's a game on the computer where you can build your own roller coaster. So you could have go in there and build all the roller coasters he's ever been on and all the different amusement parks and boardwalks and, you know, all of that. There's a new game on, I don't know what system it's on right now, but my kids were just talking about it, is where you can build, it's like an urban planning.
Right. It's like a sim amusement park.
Yeah, you can build an amusement park, and you could, if he loves just the aspect, he can go build his amusement park that he loves, all the different ones that he likes and the types of roller coasters are on it, and you know, all that aspect. So try to figure out like what aspect he really misses, and then see if any of these things take, you know, writing about what he likes at the amusement parks is great, creating a book and putting some visuals in there. So maybe he'll go find pictures and put it together. And that's what, you know, that's one form of doing it. It could be all these things, because nothing is going to replicate going, you know, completely itself. But you can do all these other things that give him some aspect of interest, and where he can kind of direct his interest, his highly preferred interest.
I would also say too, there's a lot of things online right now. There are virtual, like you can get the virtual glasses and you can take existing theme park rides with those glasses. You can, people over the years have recorded so many things at Disneyland and other parks. If you put in the name of the park into YouTube, you will find videos of every show that there is. I mean, you know, it's there.
We had a supervisor who was part of Extreme Roller Coaster Club online on YouTube. And one of our kids loved roller coasters and found a roller coaster of her riding one and screaming. I mean, it was amazing that he found it. But yeah, there is a YouTube channel just for roller coaster rides.
And every other amusement park thing. And then there are all the Wii games that are the boardwalk, like where you throw the arrow. They have them on Wii. I can't think what the name of that game is, but there's an interactive video game that, I don't know, looks and feels like it to me. It's not the same as being outdoors, but it might be something.
thanks for watching Autism Live. To subscribe, click here. And if you'd like to check out some more of our videos, click here.